My next guest has spent her career in the field of neonatology after seeing a need for safe, pasteurized human milk for high-risk babies. Today, her vision has become a reality, and it provides life to these most vulnerable little ones. And that's why she is our Huck's hero this week.
I'm Dr. Susan Campbell, and I have practiced neonatology in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years. So my motivation in starting Mother's Milk Bank of Tennessee is I saw very tiny infants born very prematurely who did not make it in the NICU or had serious abdominal consequences of their stay in the NICU. There are just so very many benefits when the mother can't provide her own milk to being able to have donor milk available that's been safely pasteurized and tested to make certain that no bad bacteria would be transmitted to the babies. I was so concerned about being able to save babies' lives that even before my retirement in 2019, we had started working on having a facility for the state of Tennessee. In 2021, we finally were able to open this facility that you see, which is a state-of-the-art pasteurization facility for donor human milk. This has been almost a half a lifetime dream for me to be able to have this kind of facility available for our state. This is my give back to the community where I served as a neonatologist for so many years. And I would love, love, love to see necrotizing enterocolitis become a never event. I can't tell you what this means to me to be able to finally, after so many years working on this project, to be able to provide safe, pasteurized donor human milk to our hospitals in Tennessee to take care of their most vulnerable tiny babies who desperately need it.
Oh, how beautiful. Well, please welcome the Executive Director and Co-founder of Mother's Milk Bank of Tennessee, Dr. Susan Campbell. Dr. Campbell, thank you for being here tonight.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
We're so glad to have you as our Huck's hero. I am fascinated that you spent most of your life as a physician in neonatal care, and you saw things that kids were experiencing because they didn't have natural mother's milk. And so they were being given a chemical of formula, and you saw how much of a difference that could make for them.
Correct. You know, we saw so many technological advances. It was amazing to see that we were able to find a way to treat their lungs. We were able to find a way to ventilate babies. Tiny babies could survive that hadn't been able to survive before. But the most devastating thing would be when they were a couple of weeks old and they were starting to be fed, to see their little bellies get distended and they'd have issues with feedings. We'd have to stop feedings. And there was a period of time where neonatologists were so, and I think this still occurs, they're so concerned about the entity called necrotizing enterocolitis that we would stop feedings, sometimes for a week or 10 days. And we would have them on really strong antibiotics. We would do blood cultures, and it just was devastating.
So what happens when these same babies are given natural mother's milk?
The amazing thing is the tolerance that their feedings, all of a sudden they don't have to stop feedings so many times. Their little tummies stay, not as distended or have issues. Now, we still have a very rare case of necrotizing enterocolitis because we don't fully understand the causes of it. But we do know that there are factors in human milk that help close the tight junctures in the baby's intestine, and that protects the intestines from allowing big molecules to get across or bacteria to get across that could get in the baby's bloodstream and cause infection. So it does protect them in that way.
You know, sometimes I think it's hard for us just to step back and realize that God made mother's milk for a purpose. It's healthy for the baby. But there are obviously some women who maybe can't lactate, so they can't feed their own babies. And you get people to donate mother's milk and create a milk bank. This is amazing. I mean, it sounds so simple, but I know it's not quite that simple because there are a lot of permits and processes that you have to deal with.
One of the things that I like to say is that the milk, these mothers are so self-sacrificing. It's amazing. They have not started out many times to pump milk just for the milk bank.
Mm-hmm.
They've started out to express extra milk, so when they go back to work, they'll have milk for their own babies. And what they find is that we have these mega producers a lot of times that they just fill freezers full of milk, and they've worked so hard to collect it. They don't want to just, pour it down the drain, so they want to find a place where it can help folks. My husband likes to say that most people know that human milk is important for their own baby, but they don't recognize it can actually save these tiny babies' lives in the NICU.
Well, you're obviously saving the lives of babies that otherwise would have been sick. And I hope that people will make contact with you because this is something that could happen in all 50 states. Somebody could take your model and they don't have to reinvent the wheel because you've already done it.
Well, I'd like to say it was my model, but we actually are a member milk bank with the Human Milk Banking Association of North America. And there are 31 milk banks right now in the United States and Canada. But if you compare that with a country like Brazil that has over 200 milk banks,
wow.
I wish there were a milk bank in every state in the country because I think we can use all that milk to help so many babies.
I hope that your being with us will maybe inspire a whole lot of people across the country and we can beat Brazil and do it even better. Thanks for a lifetime of service, not just this recent project, but your whole service, saving the lives of babies.
Thank
and we're
you,
honored
Governor,
to have
and
you.
I have a gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
One of our T-shirts
How about that?
that says "Love in Every Drop."
Love in every drop. Love it. Well, if you would like to donate milk, or if you'd like to donate funds or your time as a volunteer to help Mother's Milk Bank of Tennessee, if you go to Huckabee.tv, we will connect you